What's up guys, we're back again, and today we have a 1964 Chevy Impala in here. This one's actually a club members of mine. So he bought this car, didn't have the wires on it, he put the wires on there. I think he already had the skirts with it, but overall pretty clean car, and we are going to be installing some goodies on it. So he bought some chrome uppers, chrome lowers, they're down there. He got chrome trailing arms, power balls already in them, chrome wishbone, telescoping drive shaft, 3-pump HOPPOS setup, so he has 3 pumps around here somewhere, the motors, so he has everything he needs right here. I have the batteries over there. I clean up my shop and I don't have a car in here, and I'm like, man, my shop's so spacious. And then I put one of these big old cars in here and I'm like, golly, I got no room for nothing. But I'm gonna work with what I got for now. Let me show you guys this frame too. I just got done reinforcing this frame, did like a heavy duty partial insides and outs, and then just had it powder coated. So I just got this back actually today. So this will get all assembled. I got the uppers and lowers and all the suspension stuff at powder coat right now. So I'm waiting to get that back. And as soon as I get that back, I can slap this thing together. This guy has some 520 tires and some wire wheels that it's going to go on. This one's actually going on a 61 Impala, but this thing's pretty beefy. I like it. This is a Canadian X frame that I've had sitting here, so went ahead and wrapped that up for him. But I wish I was building this for myself, guys, not gonna lie. Eventually I'll get to my Monte Carlo frame. I know a lot of you guys are patiently waiting to see that. Me too, I promise you. I cannot wait to start working on that. And as you can see, it's over there buried underneath all that stuff. So I don't think I'm gonna go too in depth on the installation of this, just so I can pump some videos out. I know I've been slacking, I know it, but I already got the battery racks made. So he's doing 6 batteries, 3 pumps. I got these solenoid brackets, so these get welded onto the battery rack right there. And this is pretty much the layout. What I always do is I make the battery racks first to hold the battery trays, and then from there I kind of set it in the car. It gives me a rough idea, and then I can measure across here. Most of the cars I've done, I just add about a 5-foot piece right there. It's a pretty good length where I can put the whole rack in once it's built, so I can take it to go get powder coated, take it in and out, and it clears the trunk. So probably do 5 foot across right there. You know, of course, go through the floors to the frame, make the post coming up, and then another beam going across here, and then 1, 2, 3 pumps right there. So this one's gonna be a pretty simple setup. Also, real quick, before I forget, we got these solenoid plates. So I do make these, I sell them. You'll see them, you know, assembled on the racks that I do, as well as the plates to actually mount the pumps. So these pretty much get welded on in these spots right here. So I do sell these. You can hit me up on Instagram or Facebook, ssindustries.fab, and just send me a message and I'll know what you're talking about. This is what it's looking like so far, guys. Got the 5-foot pieces cut across. Of course, my battery trays, just throw a pump in there just kind of for mock-up anyways. I do have these beams. They're 11 inches and they're pretty much gonna go in between there, and then a little pump mounts are gonna get welded to them, and that's pretty much how the pumps are gonna be mounted to the rack, pretty much just like that. And then of course my solenoid mounts, they're gonna get welded in right there, right here. Still gotta move the whole rack forward. I haven't cut the holes in the floor yet. None of this stuff is welded or anything yet anyways, so I'm gonna take this back out, measure everything, get it all centered and squared up, weld those posts in, and here's the rack. So this is pretty much exactly how it's gonna look like. I still have to add the battery tie down tabs right here, and of course, you know, move that in position with the frame, and add the ground bolt right here. So that's pretty much it. Pretty simple. I mean, I make pretty much all my racks like this just because it's so simple and it looks clean, especially after it gets all powder coated and all that stuff. It looks pretty good. Now to take this off the table, slap it in the trunk, test fit it, see how it looks. Real quick, guys, I just want to show you this frame that I just finished up. All nice powder coated, assembled, put together, hydraulic cylinders in. It's looking pretty good. I like it. Customer's supposed to come pick it up later this week. Just glad to have this done and out the way now. Now I can focus on the Impala. So now with the frame out the way, I'm able to focus on the Impala. Now this is it with all the parts mocked up. Everything fits nice and clean, tidy. Everything's symmetrical down the middle. Overall, pretty happy with it. And presto, we are in here. We are welded to the frame. Got a few of these pieces tack welded in so I can pull it out and weld it. But this thing ain't going nowhere. So nice and solid. There it is, guys. The whole setup is in. Solenoids mounted up right there. 6 batteries, 3 pumps. Simple as it gets. So now that this stuff is in, working with the suspension now. Now he does have the I believe these are G-body ball joints. So these are already drilled out to the 4 bolts instead of 3 bolts like normal Impalas. Now the wishbone and rear trailing arms already had the bushings in, but we don't have the bushings for the lower control arms or the uppers, and we don't have the ball joints. So I'm gonna run to the store. I believe these are the bushings for them anyway. Actually, I believe one of these boxes here from the last build from the frame, I saved them. So I'm gonna look up those part numbers and see which ones they are. So I should be able to get those here locally without having to order them. Because honestly, that'll kind of slow me down a little bit. No big deal, I still got other stuff to do. So hopefully I can find these local, get these things slapped in. I'm gonna go ahead and knock out the front real quick just because it's simple. Slap the springs, A-arms, and the cylinder through. Knock that out pretty quick. And then I can start on the rear. The rear is gonna be a little bit more time consuming because I do have to install the wishbone. So I have to cut out the factory. I don't know if you can see over there. I mean, I'm sure most people know this already. So this is another X-frame right here. I'm gonna have to cut this out. This is where the factory banana bar mounts. So I'll take my plasma cutter, cut that out, clean the frame rails, and then I can mock up the stuff to the rear end. He also has a telescoping drive shaft. So this one's just the back half. It's really simple. I'm gonna take it to Precision Drive. That's who I have do all my drive shafts. Real good dude. He's into cars too. So he's just right down the street from me. I'm just gonna take it to him. He's gonna slap it all together, put the carrier bearing in and all that, and then he'll go ahead and balance it. Normally, when I just install just the slip yoke, I just give him the measurements, he cuts it, welds it, balances it, ready to go. So, super cool dude, highly recommend him. Pretty much same same process for pretty much any of these cars. You're doing hydraulics, you know, you bust the upper ball joint loose, lower ball joint. I'm gonna go ahead and take the uppers and lowers completely off since they're getting replaced anyways. I have to use the dog bones on the chrome A-arms anyways, so these are gonna come completely off. I already took the shock out right there. It's just 2 1/2-inch bolts and a 9/16 bolt up top, and it slides right out. I do have the jack on there, keeping a little bit of pressure on the A-arm. That way it doesn't just pop loose. I mean, that's already loose. But normally, if you didn't have that, you took the ball joint off, the spring's gonna push down and make a pop noise and all that. It's kind of spooky a little bit. But anyways, I'm gonna get all this stuff taken off, out of the way, so I can go ahead and start prepping the frame to wrap it. So I'm just gonna do the arches, the spring pockets up here. Front suspension is completely pulled on both sides. And the drive shaft was taken out. And this drive shaft was actually rebuilt not too long ago, so 2018. So we got some goodies in the mail today from HOPPOS. They sent me a dope banner so I can hang up in my shop. Authorized dealer. Also got the carrier bearing for the drive shaft that I'm gonna have made. He sent me some stickers, stocked up on some coupling nuts and some keys. Got a Y bone from my homie Fabian, got a motor, and some chrome cylinders, and a t-shirt. So thank you HOPPOS for sending me that gear, muchly appreciated. So I'm gonna go ahead and send this drive shaft off to Precision Drive and have them start working on that while I'm working on the rest of the car, so that way when I'm ready for it, it's done. So we're gonna head over there now. The front is finished up completely. The only thing I have left to do is just run the hoses. Now I'm gonna start working on the back. Got the skirts off. So what I'm gonna do is just get down here and just completely move the rear end completely out of my way. I will have to reinforce the back arches, so Just gonna get the axle completely taken out of here, out of my way. I don't have to worry about fighting it or anything like that. As well as install the wishbone. So gotta cut the banana bar, mount off, pan hard bar, all that stuff, because that's all going away. And then clean the axle and get ready to weld the wishbone mount on. Got the rear end out. Wasn't horrible, but wasn't easy. Now it's time for my least favorite part, which is prepping the frame to get it ready for welding. So pretty much I gotta get all this dirt and grime and everything all nice to a shiny metal so I can get some good welds on it. So I had an idea the other day on the quick disconnect, pretty much from once the pumps and dumps and batteries get wired in 24 volts, I usually put like a junction box right there, and then from there to the actual switches themselves. But I was thinking, why don't I use like an actual plug-in, quick disconnect plug-in? I think this will be tons better. So pretty much that'll get wired in there, and then from here it'll go to all the pumps and dumps and batteries and stuff like that. I think this will look clean. I just got this from Amazon. I mean, it was pretty cheap. I think it was like 10 bucks or something like that. Doing it this way, 100% worth it. This stuff looks so good and professional looking. I dig it. Now I'm gonna start wiring up the switches right there, and then pretty much whenever he needs to maintenance it or take a pump out or do anything, he can disconnect the switches from whatever in the trunk. So the whole entire setup's in there. I got fluid in the rear pumps. Still got to do the front, but I'm gonna wait because I still have to run the hose. But what I'm gonna do is go ahead and hook up my switches and cycle the rear suspension, make sure everything works good, make sure there's no leaks. So the back's working well. I am getting a little bit of rubbing right there on the cylinders in the trunk. That's normal. I just got to cut a slightly bigger hole. But here it is. And then of course, we got another Impala frame I'm reinforcing in here. So I'm gonna go ahead and jack up the front, run that hose back to the pump, and drill a hole. I'm actually gonna drill a hole in the trunk. I have somewhere around here. I got a little rubber grommet that's gonna slide in there to keep the hose from rubbing on the raw metal. Front's working pretty good. I was hopping it a little bit. Get about, I don't know, about 15 inches off the ground right there. So now all that's left is install the dry shaft and bleed the brakes. And other than that, this thing should be ready to go. Of course, it needs a bath. It's been in here for a little bit, so it's getting kind of dusty in here and stuff. He will have to shorten his rear end. It is pretty close to this quarter panel right there. So I got the dump in the back just going real slow, just so it's not bashing on that quarter panel right there. Car is done, completely done. Pulled it out of the shop earlier today. It's a little dirty. I know he's gonna come over here and clean it and wash it up before he takes it. Again, chrome undies, very dirty. We still need to clean them for sure. Put some air in the tires. Let me show you guys the setup one more time. Get some custom tie downs, says Blue Smoke, 3-pump HOPPOS setup, 6 batteries, SS Industries rack. Got your quick disconnect right here. Switches ran to the front. Got my little quick disconnect right there. Here comes Pete and Gabby pulling up. Mounted the switches. So I ran all 6 batteries to the front and 3 and 3 to the rear. Anyways, guys, it's been a doozy. Hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think about the 64. It's pretty dope. But anyways, I'll see y'all next time. Peace.